Hello. The next talk I'm going to share with you from IOC's 2024 conference is that by Dr. Robert Waldinger. Dr. Waldinger is a medical doctor, psychiatrist who wrote The Good Life, a very well-known book about happiness and achieving that which we can understand as the good life. So he says that we need social support, a certain amount of health, and freedom to make life choices to be happy. We need some generosity and trust in the absence of corruption at that. We can zoom in at individual levels, at relational levels, even at organizational or national levels. Importantly, wealth, fame, and achievement are not the things that show up in the World Happiness Report. Being an influencer and having 1 million likes is not actually that helpful in our overall happiness, but generosity is. Sharing is. We are in this cultural haze or milieu of all of the subliminal and overt messaging. I loved that he said, what if we had trees and the trees had likes? That would be absurd, right? This tree has 1,000 likes. This tree only has 30. Is it a less useful tree in the forest? It is not. So silly. Also regarding social media, this is a takeaway quote I loved. We are always comparing our insides, our inner experience, to other people's outsides, the outer projected experience. It's another way of describing the compare and despair that is driving so much social unhappiness in our country and world. So Dr. Waldinger spent a lot of time sharing some data and happiness-related data from the Harvard study, an 85-year study. It's just kind of an amazing longitudinal bit of science from early 20th century. So this is actually where we talked about the affection and respect that I referenced in Jean-Paul's talk earlier. So I got that a little bit out of order. But the arguing predicted the health of the relationship. If they could argue with affection and respect, that was a really good sign. We do get happier as we get older. Again, that U-shaped happiness curve that Chip Conley also mentioned. When we pay more attention to that which is positive, i.e. 3 good things practice, journaling, gratitude, etc., we can actually revise our memories in a more positive direction. We see them with fresh eyes, or we see them in new context, more generous context. That changes things. Yes, comparison is the thief of joy. Material things cause comparison. So whether it's a sweater or a pair of glasses or a car or a house, anything, we can enjoy it until we see somebody else has a better thing, and then part of our brain experiences grasping, right? Wanting to compare and have more. And when we have experiences together, it increases their value. So I went to this conference with 2 friends. The conference was incredible, but because my 2 close friends were here too, it was multiplied by huge numbers. The joy was so much greater. Dr. Waldinger shared, we're bad at predicting what's going to make us happy. We often think that, for example, we won't like connecting with others. Many people say the words, I don't like people, which is, it's a thing to say. People say it, but that just means you're in judgment of people. It means I judge people, actually, is all that it means. So it's more of a statement about you than it is about people, even though admittedly people can be awful and annoying and grating and all of the things. We all can be those things. So he gave us this great story about an experiment at the University of Chicago where a group was assigned either to talk with a stranger on their train in their commute or not. And they asked them before how much they thought they were going to like it. And they were like, we're not going to like it that much. But afterwards, they were significantly, measurably happier if they were in the group that were assigned to talking to a stranger. More energized, more creative. So making connections enhances our well-being even when we predict that it won't. There's a book he referenced by Robert Putnam called Bowling Alone. I'll mention that in case it's of interest. And he shared attention is the most basic form of love, sometimes the hardest to give to one another. We also underestimate the gladness of the person that we are randomly reaching out to just to connect and say hello. And we overestimate their unavailability, or we overestimate the amount that it's going to bother them, intrude upon them. So I think it's just going to be a warm fuzzy. Remember that concept from the 70s? Like, more warm fuzzies is more warm fuzzies, no matter what. His website is robertwaldinger.com, and his book is The Good Life. And this talk was so valuable. I hope that you gained some pearls from that too.